We're now going to conclude by considering two invalid argument patterns, two invalid forms of inference, bad forms of inference, and we're going to see that they're analogous ones with the predicate logic and with the propositional logic related to conditionals, related to if-thens. The first example we want to get is our first bad inference in predicate logic, the predicate pattern: all A's are B's, X is a B, therefore X is an A. Not a good form of inference. You guys can draw the circles yourself, and you can see from the fact that something is the A's are in the smaller circle, the B's are in the bigger circle. From the fact that something is in the bigger circle doesn't necessarily mean that it's in the smaller circle. The equivalent conditional form of inference is if P then Q, Q is true, therefore P is true, going in the wrong direction. This is sometimes called the fallacy of affirming the consequent. And an example to really drive it home, to show that you can't conclude it, is an instance of this kind of inference would be the president is in the White House. If the president is in the White House, then the president is in Washington, D.C. Let's say we also know the president is in Washington, D.C. We cannot conclude that he's in the White House. He might be in Congress. He might be in the congressional office building meeting with some people. He might be in Burger King and the First Lady is very upset, wants him home for dinner. So he could very well be in Washington, D.C. And we always know that if he's in the White House, he is in Washington, D.C., but we can't jump to that conclusion. The other bad pattern of inference from predicate logic, the bad predicate pattern is going with the knots in the wrong direction. That is, all A's are B's, X is not what's on the left, therefore X is not X is not an A, therefore X is not a B. The equivalent inference with respect to conditionals: if P then Q, not P, therefore not Q. It's sometimes called the fallacy of denying the antecedent. Don't worry about the names, that might get you confused, but think about the inference. If the president is in the White House, then the president is in Washington, D.C. The president is not in the White House. Where could he be? The president could be up in New York viewing a disaster or something like that. So the president would not be in the White House, but from those two facts you cannot conclude that the president is in Washington, D.C. And this concludes the patterns of argument, the valid and invalid patterns of argument that we're taking a look at in propositional logic.